Hello, YouTube, and welcome to Binary Briefings. Now, why Taiwan matters more than people realize. I didn't even realize this. After the 2-day summit and after listening to Xi Jinping's demand that the United States deal with the Taiwan issue, I had to go do my research. Why in the world is Taiwan so important? And it just blew my mind. A lot of you may be listening to this and like, damn, Binary, you don't know shit. How are you reporting the news and you don't know a gosh darn thing? Well, I'm new to this, but guess what? I'm going to stay true to this. And I learned from the mother effing New York Times. So we are going to jump into a New York Times article and we're going to cover my notes that I have. And this should be fun. This might be a longer video than you're used to, but man, we got to get into this thing. So I don't know if y'all seen the thumbnail. I should pull it up. Give me one. Nah, you know what? No. Just go check out the thumbnail. But I have the United States pushing poker pieces onto Taiwan, saying we're going all in while China's looking on, because I'm nervous. I'm always nervous with the Trump administration. I've never been this nervous in my life about worldly things that are going on. Maybe because I'm just now paying attention at 40 something years old, which shame on me, but at least I'm paying attention. But damn it, I'm nervous now. Every time he opens his mouth, I'm nervous. Now the Trump administration, which is the United States, so we are trying to use Taiwan as a bartering chip. We are trying to use them as a bargaining chip. We are trying to use them as a power play. Oh my gosh, man. This is trying to get a girl, right, to think that you really, really like her, only to make the girl that you really like jealous. So maybe the girl that you really like will come holla at you. That's what it feels like to me. But the girl that you don't really like actually likes you. It feels like to me that Taiwan genuinely loves the United States. And too bad we can't read the entire article. It's a long ass article, but if you read the entire thing, you're going to feel a little icky, because it just feels like we doing them dirty. You know what? Let's go ahead and just jump into the article. I'm doing too much damn talking, and this is going to be a long ass show anyways. So let's go ahead and jump right into this article. Let me go ahead and look on over at the article. Why do you do that, Binary? We know that avatar ain't. I'm doing it because the AI, they after me. You got to show that you're actually doing some shit and that I'm not AI. All right, so here we go. Trump makes a high-risk move to win over Xi. The president said a potential arms deal for Taiwan was a very good negotiation chip. Oh my God. In talks with Beijing. His words raise questions about the reliability of U.S. support. Gosh, I don't like this. And just look how he looks. Gosh. Oh man, if I was Taiwan, man, seeing this picture of him, I don't know, man. That would be in my nightmares. Like, you can you trust us? Taiwan, can you trust us? Capital U, capital S, U.S. Can you trust us? This article is by Chris Buckley. All right. So President Trump has described a potential multi-billion-dollar weapons sale. What the hell? President Trump has described a potential multi-billion-dollar weapons sale to Taiwan as a negotiating chip with China, raising new doubts about the pace and scale of American military support for the island democracy. God, I just can't stand it. Taiwan's government has been waiting for months for Mr. Trump to sign off on this $14 billion package of missiles, anti-drone equipment, and air defense systems intended to fortify the island against Beijing's military threats. So yes, we do have chips. We do have poker chips that we can play. But what are we sacrificing? Because at the end of the day, the United States, we're going to have to give something up. we're going to have to give something up. Y'all know that Taiwan is this little small island that's off of the coast of China. But despite its size, it may be one of the most important places on earth. And we're over here playing games with it. Because when world leaders talk about Taiwan, they're not just talking about land. You got to understand, when world leaders come together, why do you think Xi Jinping is so adamant about Taiwan? Because when he gets together with the Trump administration in the United States, they're talking about power when it comes to Taiwan. Power, technology, military influence. They're talking about global trade. It's not just a piece of land. This is not Israel, Iran. This is not that Middle East type stuff. They're talking about the future balance of the world, its freaking self. So why does China care so much about Taiwan? Why was that the first thing Xi Jinping brought up before Trump even touched down in China? Why has the issue become one of the most dangerous flashpoints in global politics? We got to break that down, because most of us, me included, did not realize why until I had to do a deep dive. I had to do a deep dive. You see, when it comes to Taiwan and when it comes to China and it comes to their conflict, China does not see this as a foreign issue. That's the first thing we got to understand. We got to understand that China does not view Taiwan as outsiders. They don't view Taiwan like the outsiders view them. Beijing sees Taiwan as part of China, not a separate nation. That shit runs deep. The belief goes all the way back to what? To the Chinese Civil War in 1949. After the Communist Party took control of mainland China, the defeated part of the Republic of China, what did they do? They fled to Taiwan. And ever since then, China's leadership has viewed Taiwan as unfinished business. So if we're looking at it from Xi Jinping's perspective, from Beijing's perspective, the Civil War, the Chinese Civil War, never truly ended. That's important because it changes the psychology of the issue completely, right? This isn't just geopolitics for China. This is identity. And here we are, America, using it as negotiating chips. We're talking about identity. Taiwan has also become deeply tied to Chinese nationalism. Like under Xi Jinping, for China's leadership, you got to remember, he wants reunification. He's on a mission. He said we are okay. Let's not forget what this man said. Xi Jinping said what he's doing in China is similar to what Trump tried to do in the United States when he ran that MAGA campaign. Let's make America great again. Xi Jinping says he wants to make China great again. The reunification, the reunification package that he has rolling out, the reunification campaign that he has going, that symbolizes strength. It symbolizes unity, historical completion, national rejuvenation. I mean, you got to feel that tension. And think about this politically for China. What happens if they lose Taiwan permanently? China could look weak as all get out. That's why Chinese leaders speak about Taiwan with such intensity. That's why. And now that I know this, it just makes so much sense. And I'm conflicted on the inside. And that's what makes me nervous, because China ain't playing about Taiwan. They ain't playing. And Taiwan is using our asses. They are putting us they're sort of putting us in the middle of it. They're putting us in the middle of it, hoping that we protect them. But we could be on some snakish shit. I don't know where we stand. I don't know where the United States stands for real. And the way Trump is talking, I don't know what we're doing. I have no idea. The ball's in your court, China. The ball's in your court. I don't know. Taiwan is tied directly to the image of China's future power, and they are not going to let that shit go. Let's go back to the article, shall we? Let's go back and read a little bit more because this shit is intense. This is intense. Let's read a little bit more. Actually, I want to read a lot of the article today. Normally, I don't do this because I try to push you guys to go ahead and subscribe to the New York Times, and you still should because I'm not going to read the entire article. And I'm going to tell you guys straight up, towards the end of this article, I would say, yeah, well, not necessarily the end, like a little bit over halfway through the article. It starts to get into Taiwan's perspective of the situation and how they kind of view the United States and where we stand right now. And how actually there are some people, some nationalist parties in Taiwan that's kind of against their government, that says that that the leader, Mr. Lei, is kissing the United States ass too much. You know what I mean? And I mean it gets gritty at the end of, like, towards the end of this article. So y'all should go ahead and get the New York Times and read this entire article because it's good. Or go to your local library where you can get that shit for free. All right. So Mr. Trump himself, we're on the third paragraph. Mr. Trump himself had pressured Taiwan to spend more on its own defense. Now he is using the very arms his administration had pushed the island to buy as leverage with China, the United States' main adversary. I don't like us in this scenario. I don't like how I don't like the optics of it. We look weird in this scenario, just like in the Israel and the Iran situation. We look weird in that scenario. Israel kind of gave us an alley oop and we went and slam dunked it, and now we're at war. That war, that we know for a fact, this war ain't got shit to do with us that we in. We know it, but we in it and we look weird in it. But we're doing what we do best. You know, we're conquering. We're handling our business. We're positioning ourselves, you know, as an elite global superpower. But this bugs me. Let me slow it down when I read it. Let's read it again. Let me slow it down. Mr. Trump himself had pressured Taiwan to spend more on its own defense. So we're not going to always protect you. You have to spend money, and you guys have to start creating the technology to defend yourself against Beijing if they attack. Taiwan says, okay, like if we scroll down, and don't worry, I'm not gonna miss all that because all this is important. But if we scroll down, gosh, why is it doing that? Oh, probably because shit's updating. Shit's updating. Damn. So if we scroll down, not here. Where is it? Bruh. Ambiance. I gotta know how to say that word. Oh, damn it. Where is it? Oh, man. Can't find it, guys. But there's a part where it talks about how they spent $11 billion. You know what I mean? And now they're about to spend, maybe, possibly, if we actually let it happen, $14 billion on their defense. I'm going to find it, and then we're going to go back up and read. But I just want to show you guys where that's at. Oh, my gosh. Maybe it's the advertisements. I don't know. Maybe they're getting on me for reading their shit. Hold on. Let me see. Dude, it has to be here somewhere. Oh, this is the part of the article I was telling you guys about that gets really juicy. Y'all need to go read. Oh, look, I'm just showing y'all. Y'all just slow this shit down and just read it yourselves. You know what I'm saying? Y'all slow that shit down right there. Read it yourselves. Here it is. Look at this. Under Mr. Lei, Taiwan has sought to build a more nimble, mobile military with missiles and air defense technology that can counter China's expanding military in large part by buying U.S. weapons. Don't forget, further up the article, Trump was the one that urged them to do this. Mr. Trump already approved one $11 billion package last year, a move that Beijing responded to with military exercises near the island. So Beijing knew that Taiwan was really, really strengthening themselves, and they wanted to send a warning. Like, look at us, man, we just may attack. But Beijing knew better than to attack Taiwan because Taiwan I'm telling you, they know how to defend themselves, which is why Xi Jinping in Beijing does not want this $14 billion deal to go through to give Taiwan even more weapons because they will be able to defend themselves. I think they can defend themselves right now. And if shit really pops off, because Xi Jinping did say, America, y'all putting yourselves in a gnarly position. If shit pops off, hey. But I'm just saying, if shit really does pop off, Taiwan ain't no slouches. They ain't no slouches. All right, so I wanted to show y'all that. So here we go. So Mr. Trump himself had pressured Taiwan to spend more on its own defense, and they did, 11 billion. Now he's using the very arms his administration had pushed the island to buy as leverage. Hey, buy more, buy more, buy more. Okay, we will. Okay, we will. Hey, it's been months. We said we're going to buy it. When you going to sell this shit to us? Mr. Trump told reporters on Air Force One after leaving China on Friday that he had discussed the weapons package with China's president, Xi Jinping, during their summit this past week in Beijing. He asked in an interview with Fox News whether he would approve the Taiwan deal, which he should. I think he should, but I don't know shit. I don't know shit. But in my humble opinion, we said we was going to do it. Let's be a man and woman of our word. But Trump says, no, I'm holding that in abeyance, and it depends on China. He said in the interview, which was recorded in Beijing but aired after he left, it depends. It's a very good negotiating chip for us, frankly, he said. It's a lot of weapons. Now you're antagonizing China. Now you're saying, hey, what are y'all going to do? We can sell these weapons to Taiwan. It's a lot of weapons. Now, he did not go into detail about what he wanted in return, but Mr. Trump has pushed China to make major purchases on American planes, ethanol, soybeans, beef, and sorghum. His comments appear to undermine the assurances to Taiwan from some in his own administration that the U.S. support for the island is steadfast and non-negotiable. Let's read that sentence again because this shit pisses me off. This right here pisses me off. President Trump's comments appear to undermine the assurances to Taiwan. I hate this shit. I hate this shit. It's like you had an agreement, right? It kind of reminds me of the NFL. And of course, players in the NFL should be able to negotiate their contracts, right? But let's just say you're a player and you're a really good player, right? And you agreed to some shit with the team. You agreed. You said, okay, 5 years, 120 million, cool. And so you play your first year and you do way better than your competition. But then there's a team that's paying the player that plays in your position 4 years, 240. So they like doubled your shit. And you're looking around like, we need to renegotiate. And I can't stand that because you signed the mother effing contract. Honor your shit. And so what do? You start holding out and shit, not honoring, losing money for you and your family because you want to pressure. That's what it feels like right now. It feels like we made a deal and now we're holding out. It's like we're reneging on our deal, and I can't stand that shit. So before the summit, the bipartisan group of senators had urged against letting support for Taiwan become a bargaining chip with China. And look what the hell happened. Look what happened. Gosh, that just bugs me. But the more and more, I'm going to be honest, the more and more I learn about Taiwan, the more I kind of understand what we're doing, and the more I really understand why China is so gung-ho about whatever the hell they got going on. Because Taiwan's location is so important. We got to talk about strategy. Taiwan sits in like this critical location in the Pacific Ocean. And controlling Taiwan could dramatically change military influence in the region. Who controls it? Who's going to control it? Right now, they want to be independent. See, right now, Taiwan is part of what analysts call the first island chain. So, a group of territories that helps limit China's ability to project military power deeper into the Pacific. If China controlled Taiwan, stay with me here. If China controlled Taiwan, its naval reach could expand significantly. And nearby US allies would immediately feel more pressure. Come on, Trump. You got to think about that shit. Is it worth it? Okay, so what is China saying they're going to buy from us? And I think it's like a $30 billion deal that we got going on, and it could be more than that. I don't know. So we have a $14 billion deal with Taiwan and a potential $30 billion deal with China. Is that extra money really worth nearby US allies immediately feeling pressure because China has taken over Taiwan and I guess reunified? See, that's one of the reasons why we have to watch this closely. And I know that's one of the reasons why the Trump administration in the United States is watching this issue closely, because Taiwan isn't just an island anymore. It's a strategic checkpoint in the modern power struggle between China and America. There's a lot riding on this. We have to factor in technology. And towards the end of that article, it gets deep into Taiwan and technology and just how Taiwan, it explains how Taiwan is actually, if you break it down, a freaking superpower. And this is the part right here that most people don't realize. Taiwan is one of the most important technology hubs on Earth, especially when it comes to the semiconductors. You see those tiny little chips that be powering the smartphones, AI systems, cars, military equipment, data centers, modern electronics. Many of those things come from Taiwan. There's a company called the TSMC. It stands for Taiwan Semiconductor Manufacturing Company. It plays a massive role in the global economy. Some people even consider Taiwan the Silicon Shield because the world depends heavily on its chip production. And if you read the New York Times article, President Trump actually accuses Taiwan of stealing our blueprint in chip production. So President Trump is upset with Taiwan as well because I guess he sat down with Xi Jinping and learned, I guess, that Taiwan has stolen our technology. So that is his justification of why he might sell them out. Man, that bugs me. That bugs me. That bugs me. So if Taiwan is responsible for the world's dependence upon chip production, any instability in Taiwan could cripple and ripple across the entire planet. I'm serious. Let me give you another reason why I think Taiwan really matters. It's because of us and our rivalry with China. I mean, let's look at things from the Beijing perspective. America's support for Taiwan can look like, strategic containment, but China sees U.S. military presence nearby now. Arms sales to Taiwan, $14 billion, strengthening their defense. More alliances in the Pacific. Diplomatic support as pressure near China's borders. So what do we see, though? We see the United States views Taiwan as strategically important to regional stability because if China really got their hands on Taiwan, they might start running amok. So Taiwan becomes more than just Taiwan. It becomes part of a much larger battle. It becomes a battle over influence, security in the future of global order. Seriously. I told you guys in the last video that China does not want to be seen as little brother. They barely want to be seen as equal. They want to be seen as dominant. And one way that they can display their dominance is by controlling Taiwan again. Now, here's the biggest kicker that when I did my research, I can't believe I didn't even think about this. And then when I read the article from the New York Times, it all really just started making sense. Check this out. This is one huge complication right here. It is the people of Taiwan themselves. You see, many people in Taiwan increasingly identify politically as Taiwanese rather than Chinese. They don't call themselves Chinese. We have to realize that Taiwan has its own government. They have their own elections. They have their own military. They have their own freaking currency. They have their own democratic system. And many fear losing those freedoms under Chinese control because that shit is going to happen. They're not going to be independent. I don't know why it didn't dawn on me. It did not dawn on me. So while Beijing talks about reunification, many in Taiwan see the issue very differently. And that tension makes the situation incredibly sensitive because for many in Taiwan, it's not reunification, it's identity lost. It's almost a push into slavery. It's almost like, damn, now we have to be under a communist rule and reign. That's just wild to me. At this point, we have to realize that Taiwan sits at the center of military strategy, technology, economics, nationalism, and superpower competition. we are we are battling for Taiwan. That's why the entire world watches this issue so carefully, and now I have to start watching it carefully. I've never ever viewed Taiwan in this manner before. Shame on me. Damn it, I wish I would have known this shit earlier. You see, because tensions ever escalated dramatically, the effects wouldn't stay regional. If tensions escalated dramatically between China and Taiwan, and then you throw US in there, the effects would not stay regional. It would impact so much. It would impact global trade, markets, technology, supply chains, and international stability itself. When I studied this and I learned just how vital and important Taiwan is, my lean now is to support Taiwan. I don't want to use them as a bargaining chip. They are fighting to stay independent. And there are people, and they have their democracy. They can't do that shit in China, where there are people that are questioning the Taiwan government of kissing America's ass so much. And now they're saying, look at us. We don't even know if America has our best interest at heart. They're not going to be able to have that freedom of the press in China under the Chinese rule, under Beijing. They're not going to be able to have that shit. They're fighting for democracy. It reminds me of the United States, even though, the United States was founded on some bullshit. I mean, African slaves, we built this shit. You know what I'm saying? We found it on some bullshit, found it on some take. But anyways, I digress because I don't know how Taiwan was really founded when the losing side of the Chinese Civil War migrated it and fled to Taiwan. I don't know if they had to take over some shit. I don't know. I don't know any of that shit. I need to do some more research on that. But one thing that I do know is they don't want to be under the rule and reign of Beijing. They want to maintain their freedom. They are trying to position themselves globally and politically. They use their own mother effing money. They're forking up billions and billions of dollars in order to beef up their military and their defense. And I want to protect that. I want to support that. I'm for Taiwan keeping their independence. That's just me. So, why does China want Taiwan so badly? Because to Beijing, you got to remember, Taiwan represents unfinished history, national identity, strategic power, and future influence. But to Taiwan, it represents self governance and autonomy. And to the rest of the world, it may be one of the most important pieces on the geopolitical chessboard. But what do you think? After hearing all this, what do you think? Do you believe Taiwan will remain independent long term? Or do you think that reunification is inevitable? Let me know. That's it. That's all. Make sure that you guys go and read the rest of that article yourself. Trust me, it is so worth the read. My eyes have been opened. You know what I mean? And I really do appreciate getting more into the political side of things because I'm not getting any younger and I got grandkids now and they need to see how their world operates and they're going to hear it from their granddaddy. Y'all be blessed. Y'all be cool. I'll talk to y'all later. Peace.